There had been petitions against the Chief Justice, but we didn't hear you speak. There was a petition against Justice Tokonu in the last days of Akufo. There was a petition against Justice Cotton.
But there was one against Justice
Sophia. Yes.
Yeah, there have always been something.
But you didn't complain about those like you're doing now.
Oh, I think I didn't complain about it because it was treated with the disdain and contempt that it should be treated.
And you are suspecting this one might not be treated with the disdain and contempt?
This one, I'm in the studio because you find that something which is of, public interest. The public interest, and I'm here to inform the public, just as you also owe a responsibility to the public, that we should, as usual, look at our constitutional democracy. And then anything that threatens the removal of a president or the removal of the Chief Justice should not be, even condoned or even.
So are you advising the Council of States in free advice that they should dismiss the application? They should not find the prima facie if the time comes for them to do that. They shouldn't. Or are you expecting the Supreme Court to grant the injunction? What is your expectation?
The Council of States is also provided for under the Constitution, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. And they are also supposed to uphold the constitutional democracy of our baby, our baby democracy. So I will humbly, advise the President, the Council of States, the Supreme Court justices, all those who are, in theory, expected to be involved with the removal of the CJ, to look at our constitution that in practice is never been done. America, which we are emulating, has never done it. And we can't also do that unless we want our presidents and especially the two key institutions which the Constitution has provided for with similar grounds for removal, unless we want to look at them as something that we can just brush aside. The president, when you look at the removal of president, the president transcends partisanship. The Chief Justice and the judiciary are transcending partisanship. It's only Parliament and the Speaker, the legislature, where they talk of vacation of seats. And we know seats are usually partisan. Vacation of seats. And the Speaker can either be, appointed from members of Parliament or those who are qualified to be members of Parliament. That's where the partisanship comes in. And so they don't even have provisions on removal. But when it comes to the Chief Justice, who is the fourth,
most important, yeah.
The fourth person in our constitutional democracy, and then you come to the President, who is the first person. It transcends party lines. It transcends. There's nothing about vacation of seats. The President has his term, and the Chief Justice has his or her term. So
is it because the Chief Justice is a woman that you are more concerned about, which will still be legitimate, but is it because of that? Yes, madam.
I wonder sometimes. I really wonder, because I remember the last time I was on Asasi Radio, where I made my submissions. One of the panelists mentioned, and the woman and all that. I asked him to retract that statement because from experience, when people start looking at the gender, we have to look at the opposition as a position of constitutional authority, irrespective of the gender of the occupant. But when people start zooming into gender of the occupant, then you start looking at the problem of subtle or unconscious sexism or bigotry.
I apologize. I'm not doing that.
So when the the panelist said, and the woman, I said, hey, please be careful. In ranks of sexism, in ranks of bigotry, but please, maybe you are not aware, so I'm just giving you that information. And he said, okay. Some of them said, okay, he didn't mean anyhow. But we are women. We've come through a lot, and I would say that I don't want to believe it's because of the gender. That would be so pathetic, and that would be so unfortunate, because when it comes to qualification, the Chief Justice, irrespective of her gender, has risen through the ranks.
She's beyond that in Ghana. We've had 3 female Chief Justices. So we've gone beyond. I'm just saying that it's your interest heightened because it's a woman?
My interest is heightened first because of constitutional democracy, okay? And then I will say that my interest is also heightened because of how the public is going on about it, and statements like, oh, the woman, and I'm like, she's not an ordinary woman. She's qualified.
She's
experienced. She has the expertise. She's been on the bar, she's been on the bench for ages. What else do we want?